watching Car Nitty. My name's Mizan, and today I've got an actual C63 AMG on the channel. The reason why I use the word actual is because this car is from a time when the badge on the car actually meant something. It's got an actual fire-breathing 6.2 litre naturally aspirated V8 engine. Why do they have to overcompensate sizes of engines? It's always a male, you know that. It's always a male that does that. But do German men have small d? I want to put on the record that I've had some amazing cars on the channel, and I'm thankful to every single owner that features on it. But there's two cars that have hit me in my own heart chords. That's the R32 I had on the channel and this car. Everyone knows I'm a car audiophile, and these cars really get me frisky.
Hey, what are you doing there, bruv? I just had the tips polished from Details on Demand.
I'm just fixing my belt buckle, man. I'll give you something to bloody polish if you carry this one up. So now let's talk about price. You can pick up a pre-facelift higher mileage C63 AMG from £17,000 all the way up to over £100,000 for a Black Series model. This is a facelift model, and with a respectable 55,000 miles on the clock, it's worth around 25 to 30 grand. It's also worth noting that if you buy a C63, you're going to be paying £600 a year on road tax. There's no way around that, I'm afraid. The interior of the facelift car is so much more nicer than the pre-facelift. I used to own a C200 in the pre-facelift, and the interior was very plasticky. The interior game in this car has definitely leveled up, and it looks a lot more modern with its LED headlights and tail lights. I strongly urge anyone to get the facelift if you can. It's also worth noting that the gearbox in this car is a 7-speed MCT gearbox. If you get the pre-facelift car, you're going to be getting a 5-speed torque converter, which isn't the best for this power plant. Also, I prefer the Saloon over the coupe in this car. The reason for that is very, very simple. When this car came out new, it was designed as a Saloon. This is how they drew the car up. So in 2011, when they facelifted it, what did? They just chopped the car in half, put two doors on it and say, here's a coupe. And I don't like that, because if you look at an RS4 and an RS5, or you look at an M3 E90 and E92, they're completely different cars. So in this car, I feel like the coupe is really, really lazy. Also, you get these amazing bucket seats in the Saloon, and you will not get that in the coupe. You get the standard AMG line seats in the coupe. So what is the point? You're paying a lot more for a car with less in it. So in terms of power, it's got 460 brake horsepower and 600 Newton meters of torque from a hand-built, naturally aspirated V8. There's no turbochargers or superchargers here. This particular car was made by Pather Badger. I can't read that. I genuinely can't. I'm telling you, these guys do this on purpose, so when these cars go wrong, it doesn't land on their feet. This guy can't get a bank loan. This car is paired with a 7-speed MCT gearbox. That stands for multi-clutch transmission. It sounds very, very fancy, which obviously it is, but it doesn't work as well as a DSG found in the RS4 and RS5, or the DCT found in the M3. It's also worth noting that this car's engine is a very close relative to that found in the SLS 63 AMG. So it's no surprise that even though this car is naturally aspirated with the power figures I mentioned, it's quite easy to push to stage 1 and stage 2 with a few mods. Let's talk about the mods on this car. As I said, this car is like perfection for me. So to make it better is a hard job, but the owner of this car has done exactly that. So the first thing he's done is he's de-chromed the entire car. Whatever was chrome is no longer. Now let's talk about the carbon stuff. And I want to mention that all of this is real, genuine carbon. We've got a carbon front splitter. At the side of the car, we've got these carbon side skirts. You could easily confuse these side skirts for the side steps you find in a Range Rover. That's how much they stick out, but they look so good. At the back of the car, you've got this lip spoiler. And my final piece is this diffuser he's got. We've also got the red chameleon tint to go with the red calipers he's put on the car, and the red badge. And finally, in the interior, he's done two mods which I think are very nice and tasteful. We've got red seat belts, which would make the car look a lot more modern like the newer AMGs. And the last thing, which is a very expensive mod, he's got a carbon light up steering wheel with a light up rev gauge similar to that you get in a Ferrari. I think we've done enough talking. It's now time to get the owner on the channel, meet them and go from there. So you guys now join us inside the car. You see the red seatbelts look really good. I want to give a massive shout out to Shah. Thank you so much for coming down, man.
All right.
I've known Shah for literally since the start of Car Nitty. He's a very good friend of Shubzi. You can see his car literally over there. He's right there in the back. But yeah, so let's go for a drive, man. Shah, let's go. Now,
hey, bro, I don't think I lock my car.
It's all in.
It is locked, bro.
You.
It's locked. It's locked.
You know what? You're a messer.
No, it's bad to be safe than sorry, mate.
If you paid attention when I did Shubs' review, you can see your car in the background.
Yeah, a little bit.
There's that little snippet. So if you're an eagle-eyed viewer, you would maybe have known there was a C63 there, and I'm very happy to have it here. How long have you owned the car then?
Since January.
Wow, that's crazy. So, wow, that's a very short period. So, coming up to just under 1 year now.
Yep.
How has maintenance been?
It's like with any car. I mean, it's not my everyday sort of vehicle, so I don't drive it here or there.
I don't think anyone can afford to, man.
Exactly. But no, it's maintenance-wise, it's been okay. The
reason why I ask you that is, if someone wants to buy a C63 AMG and they're thinking it's a big V8 lump, man, it's gonna kill me on maintenance. Do you mind elaborating and just saying, like, you know what, it's not as bad as you think, or look, if it goes wrong, be prepared?
No, it's once in a lifetime opportunity that you could have like a V8.
I agree.
Obviously they're not making these cars anymore.
Yep.
But if you could do it, I'll say do it. Go.
I feel like if you own a Golfer, M135i, all these cars, you should budget around £500 a year on maintenance.
I would probably say this is a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. So what price would you give? 1,000.
Probably a little bit more than that.
Okay. So you can see I'm trying to squeeze it out of Shah right now. I'm trying to squeeze out how much he spent on the car, but he's obviously, despite everything he may have spent on this car, he's still not negative towards the car.
No, I love it.
There you go.
Absolutely love the car.
Because your car's quite low mileage. I mean, it's not even 55,000. It's what is it? 53.
Yeah.
53,000 miles. So imagine buying a high mileage one, man. It's almost unbearable to think about. I swear to God, man. You know what? I'm taking your stereo, man. I'm gonna sell it on eBay, man. That'll get you a few £100, man. You don't need it, man. Not when you got that. I swear to God, man. We're in a very rural area of Essex right now, and I'm telling you, there's farmers with the horses that are gonna be themselves with the noise of this. Oh my God. Oh my God, Shah, you're really going for it, bro. Oh my God. What's it like without an LSD in this car?
It's a little bit scary.
Yeah?
But,
there's a different level of fear and adrenaline in this car, man. That noise is just something else, man, I swear.
I mean, I love it.
It's like an angry dog barking at you, isn't it? Like every time you do it.
You just got to release it, and it's on your foot. So it's that little bit.
Oh my God, Shah, man. This... I can't even be overwhelmed in peace. He keeps gassing it. This car. You know they say don't meet your heroes. That's because I've met my hero now and I don't regret it for a second. I cannot believe this car is like this. I mean, I've driven the newer C63S on the channel, yeah, and I have to admit I like that car. I think I would prefer it over an F80 M3 or an F82 M4. But this, I don't think the RS4 of this generation or the E92 M3 can touch this. It's unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Shah,
I don't know if you can tell. I'm smiling because I just love it.
Yeah. And on these roads, you just unleash the beast. I mean, these cars are like a mythical creature out of Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings, man. There's some animal living in that bonnet over there, and it's like a Flintstones movie. We're doing some mad stuff under the bonnet to get that power out there.
He just wants to.
And it gets so angry when you put your foot down. Oh my God.
It's the noise, it's the roar, it's everything.
There is, and this is the thing, you even said the next step up you were thinking is an F80 M3, and I said to you, how dare you? I said to you, how dare you? You can't give this up for an F80 M3. No way.
No, I wouldn't give it up.
No.
In all fairness, I'll probably still keep it because it's a legend, isn't it?
It's a legend, man. And the honest truth is the value of these are only gonna go up. And this is one car that I can honestly say that it deserves it.
Yeah.
I mean, let's think of it this way. This is a C-Class with a 6 point... Let's just think of it subjectively, innit? It's a C-Class. It's an entry-level saloon in Mercedes' lineup at that time. Obviously now we've got the CLA and whatnot, but it was the entry-level saloon. and they went and put a 6.2 litre V8 in the engine. That's the same engine, well, it's not the same, but very close same engine that they put into the flagship SLS at the same time.
Yeah.
AMG are maniacs. There's no way around it. And it's sad to say that this AMG of today is not the same as AMG of yesterday. It's not the same.
I love it.
But there's no replacement for this car. Just by being in the being in the passenger seat of a car, right? It's an experience that sometimes it doesn't really hit you because you're not really driving the car. I could go home right now with this review without driving it and be like, yeah, that was a damn good car.
Yeah.
Let's end the video there. I don't even need to drive it because it's that bloody good. It's that bloody good. There's no other car like this, man. I'm sorry. It's that good of a car. Cars like this can actually make me teary that they don't exist anymore. But I think it's enough talking. It's now time to run some 0 to 60 times. Now, it's worth noting that you've got some budget tyres on this car.
Yeah.
So the time isn't going to be the best based off that. The other thing as well, this car's carrying 3 passengers. All right, so now we're going to do the 0 to 60. Let's go for it, man. Right, you've recorded 4.78. That is very, very respectable. This car just feels sketchy even from the passenger seat. It's like, I have complete faith in you as a driver, your skills, but there's still that percent of me that's like yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Hold on.
Yeah, because it's not you that I don't trust, it's this car. So I'm now in the seat of the C63. I have to admit, your steering wheel feels very nice.
It's lovely.
Very distracting though, I have to say.
You do get carried away with the LED lights when it pops up.
Even with mild acceleration, you can't even hear the fact it's a V8. Just can't hear it. I'm telling you, man, there's going to be some farmers that are pissed off with the way you drove earlier, man. There's going to be horses and cows, pregnant cows probably giving birth to their calves because of you and that noise. I have to say the gearbox is quite compliant. It doesn't feel jerky or
smooth.
Yeah, like
smooth.
This is what I'm saying, and I think it is because it's the MCT. You've not driven the pre-facelift, have you?
No.
Don't know anyone with it?
No.
I have to say, it is a very compliant gearbox. Yeah, I'm sure it's not the fastest shifting thing in the world, but it doesn't act like you're making it do anything it doesn't want to do. I wish, though, for a car of this era, it did have heavier steering. Do you not think so? This is electronic steering, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can tell. I wish for this generation of cars, it did have the hydraulic steering. It would have fit the nature of the car. Do you not think so?
To be honest,
you know that bothered about it.
Yeah, you obviously you would know a lot more, and I've driven a lot more different cars than myself. But
yeah, it's just because of the E92 M3 is the competitor for this car. I've driven an E92 335i, and the steering is completely unassisted.
Yeah.
Unless you get to a high speed, so it's literally like going to the gym. But this is Mercedes, I guess. You can't forget the fact that under the skin it's a Mercedes. It's meant to be a sort of a luxury car. You like these roads?
It's a lovely road.
I know, bro, innit? I'm just gassed. I'm so excited to put my foot down, but I have to be a journalist here and review the car for what it is. See, this is what I do for you guys behind the camera, you know? I've got this nice stretch of road, but I've got to do what I've got to do and enjoy the car as it is, because it's about seeing it as a daily driver as well. I'm now going to be honest though, the daytime is against us. As you can see, it's getting dark and there's no street lights here, so I better get on this pretty sharpish so I can enjoy this car while I can. I'm going on Sport. We're not going to touch Sport Plus today. Nah, he doesn't recommend it. Let's go for it, man. Oh, that threw me in the back of my seat. I was expecting it and it still threw me back in my seat. Bloody hell. So I want to say one thing, Shah. I know these roads, yeah? So even though it's not the best lighting, just know that I know when the turns come in and when the bends, yeah?
I got trust in you, my bro.
You know what? I might have to treat you to a valet from Details on Demand, because I'm telling you, man, this seat is getting sticky already, bro. I'm telling you that right now. Oh my God! Can you imagine if there's any animals in those trees, what they hear?
A symphony of a V8.
Oh my God! You know what? I love the fact there's no LSD. You know why? I feel like such a accomplished man being able to control this, you know? It's like a badge of honor on your chest, isn't it?
Certified.
I love this car. I want to take it home. I want to make babies with it. So you know what, Sean? You are going to have to get your tips polished because I'm going to inseminate it. This car is going to be bad for your wallet, man. If you own this car, you're going to be spending a lot of money on petrol. You're going to go through brakes like they're nothing because you need to stop really quick. Your tires are going to be shredded. There's too much maintenance cost with this car.
At least you'll smile at the end of it.
You know, with a lot of cars, right, when they've been replaced by a car, so like for example, if you buy an M1355i instead of an M140i, you did that because you couldn't afford the M140i. With this car, if you buy this, you've got the money. You've got the money. You can't get bored of that, man. You can't get bored of that. How are cars like this allowed to be built in the first place? It hits the speed limit without you even thinking. And people want to say that the 4-litre bi-turbo is better because it's faster. Why do you need more than this? Whoever was in charge of the AMG department when these cars were being built, he was a maniac. He wanted people to die. And he wanted people to be widows. You know? He wanted the world to suffer because there's no way a sane man would put one of these in a C-Class.
Well, you know, angle at the back is really bad.
Yeah, because you know why? There's no bolstering on the seats. So at least me and Shaw were held in by seats.
Papa feeling it must have.
I have to say, man, driven a lot of cars on the channel. I think this is my favourite. That is a massive thing to say. I mean, before this car, it was going to be maybe the C63 S. But even with what, 100 horses less than him? Not 100, about 70 horses less than him, sorry. This is still the better car. What does that tell you? I love the fact there's no noises of turbos, isn't it? It's just pure, unadulterated noise. What a car, man. How do I go home in my M135i? How do I do it? How? Seriously, how do I go?
Buy one of these.
I've just had an affair. That's why it comes. I've just had an affair with a car that is better than my car in every single way. There's no way around it. It's more beautiful. It's more desirable. Not every man can have it.
But every man wants.
But every man wants it. I love these seats, man. They've been so supportive. I don't think when I mean, Shubs is in the back and he's saying he's struggling. His stomach's in a bit. And Shubs, how you feeling?
No, I feel sick, man.
See, you feel sick. And I'm telling you, these are one of the best seats I've ever sat in my life. They're not like bucket seats, but they're not like normal seats. They're this perfect hybrid. Absolutely perfect. If we had to do 500 miles today, my body could soak it up. But when we're going around corners at these speeds, it just takes it. I mean, whereas Shubs is struggling in the back. If this guy had an LPG tank fitted, I'd think it's probably the best thing in the world. Riding a horse is something that was a common way of travelling by our ancestors, and one day there will be mythology about these V8s on our roads. The C63 is so brash, so brutal, so pure. It's not the only V8 I've driven or had on the channel, but its personality is so unique. It truly does feel like the soul of the person who built the engine lives inside like a genie, a mischievous genie that will take your soul if you don't respect it when behind the wheel. This review was genuinely emotional for me. It's cars like these that made the 2050 ban on ICE cars heartbreaking. Petrol heads like Sharp prove it doesn't matter if a car causes you grief, so long it repays you with smiles, and I salute him for that. His love and bond for the car is wholesome, like a parent caring for their child. If you can afford one, buy one. If you need to sell one of your organs, do it. These will only go up in value, and the longer you take to make your decision, you'll only pay more for it in the end. No, it's not an investment, like property or stocks and bonds, but can you put a price on happiness? But I should mention there's also a chance that your life partner may leave you because you may not be able to afford the roof over your heads, but hey ho. As always, if you liked this review, please like, comment, share and subscribe if you haven't already. and we'll see you soon on the next one. Until then, take care.